And welcome everyone to another edition of Magic Pod Squad. Dante Marcatelli, George Galante. And George, this might be our favorite pod squad of the year. Every time we catch up with former Magic man, Hedo Turkoglu, it is an absolute treat. Would you agree? Is there any better conversations we could have than with Turk?
No. We might as well just have Turk on all the time and forget the other guests. Could we do that? And then just the three of us just rant for like 45 minutes.
You available every week, Turk?
Oh yeah.
He's got nothing going right now, right?
We should name some trio, like three of us. You know, like we started all what Hedo said from now on. You know, like we've been fans' favorites. So
you know what? Can we? I think we changed. That's right. I think we changed the podcast to what did Hedo say, and he's on every week.
We should.
You know what?
We should.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't disagree with that.
Listen, they will think about it 1 week what I said. So next show, they will try and explain what I said.
This could just be a never-ending loop of trying to figure out what he said.
We are so doing that. We are so doing that. In fact, that's what we're calling this show for sure. I got my Hedo jersey up there. You like that?
Yeah, Turk? I saw that, man. Appreciate it, man.
George, I don't think you realize these autographed Turk jerseys are the hottest things right now. People cannot get enough of signed jerseys from Hedo Turkoglu. Have you seen what these things go for?
No. How much did you pay for yours?
Hedo only charged me $2,500, which I thought was a fair price.
To my close friends.
You're such a gentleman. Such a gentleman.
He's making more money now than when he played. Well, Turk, let everybody know what you're up to now. You're retired. Obviously, you're living here in Central Florida, but you seem to be busier now than when you played, traveling to Turkey and back.
Man.
Break it down for us.
I've been doing a lot of traveling back and forth. But like you said, my family's here. They go to school here. And as you guys know, we always said it before and always wanted to say it again. You know, Orlando has always been our second home, you know, so we made a lot of good friends. And we are happy to be here. You know, my family is happy to be here. The funny part is, like, I got to travel a lot. I still do the stuff back home. I still run the basketball part of the Turkish Federation. You know, like, so I still have to go to Turkey and help the basketball to grow in my country as well too. So, you know, I try to organize to be either here most of the time and over there too. So. But when I'm here with this weather, you know, I'm always happy. You know me, guys, I hate cold. So
yes, you do.
The weather is perfect for me now. So to be able to catch up with the old friends and talk about what's going on, it's always, you know, special for me.
How often are you going? Because every time I would reach out to you, it seems like I catch you when you're in Turkey. Like I can't get your schedule right. How many times are you there? Once a month, twice a month? What's your schedule like?
Like, I have to be there like once every month. Like I have to stay like at least 10 to 15 days over there. So like I'm trying to organize. Like I got here like a week ago. I'm here till like New Year's. Then after New Year's, I'm going back again for a few weeks, then I'm coming back again here for a few weeks. So I'm trying to like manage those stuff. You know, it's not easy. It's a long flight. So hopefully, you know, I'll do good for both sides, trying to take care of the family. You know, girls getting bigger every day. Every time I come back, I learn new stuff from them. You know, like, I mean, Dante, you know, being a father, for the girls, it's always changing, you know, so I'm trying to adjust on those, you know, new. I think for me as well, too, you know, after a few weeks when I come back, I'm trying to learn what Lena said for me as well, too, you know, like, so.
Well, now tell him, Turk, it's interesting because I got in a little trouble with my girls. My oldest daughter is 8 and she wants a phone. And Turk goes, well, yeah, when my daughter was 8, I got her a phone. So I tell, how hard was that, right? Like, how hard was it? You struggled with that, didn't you?
I mean, I did in the beginning, but after that, you know, I had to give up. And I did it what they want to, like I also did it for my side. I mean, I travel a lot, so I want to,
Sure.
talk to them on the FaceTime and all that, so pretty much I got it for that reason. But when I realized, well, it wasn't really for that, it was hard to catch them onto either. Maybe I talked to them once since I got the phone, like so. And they've been on the phone doing crazy stuff, like so. But I mean, to keep them busy at least, as a girl father, like I had to give up in a certain point. I fought hard, but after a point, I said I can't do it anymore because it's gonna get worse. So I bought it.
It's all part of. It's all
I
part
recommend.
of being
I recommend it to you as well too. Like in certain points, you have to
Sure,
give up
sure.
and do what they want to do. Otherwise, things gets weird. I mean, I don't want to
Listen,
go into details about the
No,
girls.
you're right. Well, they've told me they've told me what to do since they were born. So I haven't made a decision here in years. But they're starting to play basketball, and I know George's kids are into sports. Is that what are your kids into? Let everyone know how old they are and kind of what interests they might have.
Ella, big one. Ella is 12. She's gonna be 13 in February. Lena, she's gonna be 9 in April. Ella, in one point, she's wanted to play volleyball, and that kind of ended up in after 2 practices. So
she didn't take to. Why didn't she take to volleyball? Is it because she called it Wallyball?
I don't know what she called. I don't know. Volleyball? How do you call it here?
It's volleyball.
Volleyball?
Yeah. But she didn't like it?
I guess she got it something from her father that she wasn't a big fan of practicing, so she quit. She was keep telling me like when the game's gonna start, I said, honey, first you have to practice, do a lot of practices. And she wasn't really a fan of it, so she quit. And Lena, she's never been in sports, like she's been all princess modes a lot, like crazy stuff, makeup, dancing, a lot of makeup, so she's gonna give me a lot of hard time. I can see that coming up. So
well, that's the same childhood George had. That's the same childhood George
Come on
had.
now. Come on.
Well, I don't want to go that much far.
Turk, what's interesting? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I like how Turk said she takes after her father, doesn't like practice. That might be the line of the year.
You know me, guys. I never lied to anybody. I've been honest to everybody. I wasn't a big fan of practicing. I would give 100% of in the games, but like I wasn't a big fan of practicing. Man.
Did you always hate practice? Always hate practice, even like when you were a kid?
Always hated. I mean, I did a lot of extra workouts, to get better, like lifting wise, running wise, but like in certain points, like it wasn't fun. Like I knew I had to be professional and I had to do those kind of stuff, but after certain points, like it was like, God, not again, like especially with those Stan Van Gundy practices, are like, man, it was pain in the butt, man. You have to wear the knee pads and like all kind of stuff. It was hard, man. So, but like jokes on the sides, we have to, like, everybody has to practice a lot, man. Like to come. Who do you want to really become as a professional, or like to be a good player, or like to respect what you do? You have to really work hard, like. And I did my part when I was growing up, but I always prefer, like games. But like for certain points, I had to do whatever it takes to become a really good player.
Turk, I don't know that we've asked you this before, but when did things kind of click for you? Being 6'10", and was it Stan who put the ball in your hands all the time? Did you start to get some of that? Obviously, you had the ball in your hands in Sacramento and San Antonio. Like, where did things change for you when you started to become the player that you became?
I mean, I have to give a lot of credit to Stan a lot. You know, like you said, I was a different player in Sacramento and in San Antonio. But like when you come into the Orlando, I was a different in my first couple of years as well too, you know, with Coach Johnny Davis and Brian Hill as well too. But like when Stan coming up and bringing different players like Rashard and making up different lineups, I think he pretty much set it up whole bar for everybody how he wanted to play, about his system, and I think he realized I can be a really good fit in that system, and he gave me opportunity, and thank God I was able to, you know, produce every night and help the team to get better, and things kind of gets rolled after that. You know, they start to get to know me better. They start to feel more comfortable about me, Stan and the coaching staff and my teammates as well too. And I was just enjoyed every second. And I was, like I said, I was just happy who I was as a player. And all I had to do just go out there and do it every night and do it in the best way.
So go back even further than that, though. Let's go back to before you got drafted. Is that the style of play you had over there too, or what was that league like when you were playing for Pilsen? What was your style of play there?
I was similar to you know, this kind of playing style as well too back in Turkey. You know, like I was always rebounding and bringing the ball up, you know, like making assists or making plays. So I was pretty much almost that kind of player when I was growing up as well too, you know, like, but when you get to the NBA, you know, like first year in Sacramento, it's always different, you know, different positions. But when I growing up in Turkey, I was always in this position. Like I was always this kind of player, you know, like always wanted to be like an all-around player, you know, always wanted to help the team in a different ways, you know, rebounding, assists. Well, not so much on defense, but I was still trying. but it's still.
So you didn't like defense in Turkey either. You didn't like defense over there either.
Not like, but like I was trying my best. Let's put it that way.
There you go. That's all.
I wasn't. It's not like I don't like. I was just. I wasn't quick enough, or I wasn't fast enough. You know, like for certain positions, especially guys, you know, faster than me. So I was trying to use my height. You know, like make them, you know, make shots over me and take those shots. So I'm trying to change that here because you play great players almost every night here. Right. So, you know, I was trying to take this that stuff more serious. And like I said, I don't know how I did it, but I was trying my best.
But Turk, when you're there, you were the first Turkish player to ever get drafted. So when you're in Turkey and you're first starting out as a pro, when does the thought of the NBA become more real for you? Because you had nobody to really look to.
Right.
Like, who did you look for advice when it comes to that? Like, and who initially says to you, hey, Hedo, like the NBA is a real possibility for you, when it hadn't been a possibility for anybody before from Turkey?
I had a good agent, you know, that time, Tolga, you know, like when I was start to, you know, like becoming better and better player every year, especially when I was getting like 16,
what age
17,
okay, there you go. Yep.
17 and 18 years old, you know, like I was start to playing professionally at that age back home. So I was trying to, like, in the younger ages, I was always different player, you know, like I can, people will always tell me like I was different player, the way I was playing, the way I was dominating the, you know, like those junior and, you know, like those lower, you know, like class teams, you know what I'm saying? So when I was getting, you know, like professionally 16, 17, 18, I was realizing, you know, like I was different kind of player. And the people was always telling me, you know, like it was always somebody in my ear that you should try. And when I get to like 18, 19 years old, and things get really start serious. And that time we will have people from NBA, the scouting coming, looking at you and talking to you. So then you really start realizing, oh, well, why not? I should try it as well too, because I can see the interest from the different teams scouting, coming talking to you. So, and we decided, especially I had a really good tournament in 1999 in EuroLeague Final Four in Greece. I was the best young player in that age, like 18, 19 years old. So in Turkish league, I was also doing good. So me and my agent, we decided why not we try and see where we are as a player. Are we in that level yet or not? And so we decide to, get in the draft. And that time also, like I said, we're still talking to the teams like Sacramento, that time Philadelphia. I was really talking to the Clippers, Seattle that time. So Chicago as well too. They all had, they all had European scouters that always, good. I'm still in good relationship with them. So, and they told me you should try and see what happens. And the dream come true in 2000. I got drafted by Sacramento in 16 pick, and I had a okay years, I guess, 15 years in the league.
Yeah, I would say so. We had a fantastic career. And, Turk, it's interesting. I remember O'Donnell saying in the States, when you grow up in the States, they quickly determine what you're good at. Like for O'Donnell, he was a shot blocker and a rebounder. So they didn't work with him on offense. And he went his whole career just playing defense. And I know, does that surprise you?
Surprised you by that?
Yeah, I mean, I have to give him that. He's a great person, man. He's a great guy.
He totally is. Absolutely. But it seems like in Europe, like you could do it all. Like we joke.
I can see that they didn't really work any offense with him
throughout
his career. Since he started playing basketball.
No, he could have worked on it on his own for sure.
Right. Maybe take some initiative, Dante.
He could have worked on some of that a little bit. Yeah, man. He was not a big offensive player, but it seems like
he was a great teammate, man. I love that
great
guy.
Teammate. But it seems like in Europe you did it all. Like in the States, it seems to be specialized. But you could, we joke about your defense, but you did defend. You could handle the basketball. You dribble. You could shoot. Like you had a very different upbringing. What is it different about growing up in Europe where you see these guys seem to be very fundamental?
They played us, like my coaches, they played us in different positions. That's why I think for myself, that's how I become this kind of versatile player. Because like when I was 6'8", 6'9", they used to play me as a point guard.
Wow.
So that's why I pretty much get all this handle, my vision, and I think it started from there. Then, I mean, in Europe, you guys, you have to really work on like your shooting and dribbling and passing, to become a really good player. Because, like comparing to NBA, it's a little harder. The rules wise, it's harder playing in Europe. So you pretty much really have to work on those stuff pretty much every day and trying to improve yourself on those stuff. So that's why I always, work on my handling, work on my passing, work on my shooting. So it pretty much, that's how you really change your game. Like here, it's pretty much kind of lets you grow how you are. Like in Europe, I mean, for myself, for my ex-coaches, being that tall, everybody was surprised. And in the beginning, I was really making a lot of turnovers because of the shorter guys. They were taking all the balls from me. But then I start to watch some films, watch some games, and trying to look how the taller guys protect the ball, or how they do certain things for being a a great all-around player. That's how you really become a really good player, because you pretty much work on you are really not good at it. Like
Yeah, right.
in that time, I wasn't really good at it on my ball handling, so I had to really work on my ball handling. And then my passing. Then when you get to Sacramento, I know you guys know Pete Carril. He was a really great coach. Like he really helped me in my beginning when I started in Sacramento. He's in a Princeton system. He was always like a pass, shoot, and cut. So, and it's kind of helped me to always improve in myself. Even if I was in NBA, like not just Sacramento, in San Antonio when I played with Pop. Like he had different rules about the system, about San Antonio. They were great on defense, and it was hard for me up to Sacramento. Sacramento was a different team. It's like a more offensive team than San Antonio. Then when you get to San Antonio, then you have to work on your defense to be able to play. Otherwise, you can't play if you don't accept the system or rules. Then you get to Orlando. You play with Johnny, then Coach Hill. They have different systems, different rules. It's pretty much like every time something new we have to add to your like a system to be able to compete in the high level. So I was just following those stuff, and I wanted to get better every time.
How hard is that, Turk? Because we've talked to we had Steve Francis on a few weeks ago, and the one thing you really didn't realize until he said it was, well, listen, I played for 8 different coaches in 12 years or whatever. That may not be accurate, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he played for one coach for 8 years and got to learn the system. How hard is that to adjust, even at the highest level? To go, I mean, you just rattled off 4 or 5 coaches, and that's before leaving us the first time and going to Toronto, then going to Phoenix, then going to, it's even more coaches. How hard is that?
Let me clear that up, George.
Okay.
I didn't leave you guys.
Well, I did. You know what I meant.
I know
what I meant. You know what I meant.
I know.
I know.
I mean, like,
no, Hedo very much wanted to come back.
I know.
Very much.
I know.
Yes, I did. I mean, it's business. I never, I respect all the decisions. Like I never, think, bad for nobody. Like he was the part of the business. But I always wanted to come back. But what you're saying, George, is like I think it's on people's, like, players' personalities. Like how quick you want to really adjust, or how you really want to accept those roles or that system. Like I don't like to talk about like the different players or like different player styles. But for myself, I wanted to be part of something good. So that's why I could have come here and said, like, listen, man, this is how I play. You want it or not? And if not, like I'm out here. I'm saying, like, but when you see something good, when you see something, it's really helping you. It's gonna help you as a player, as a person as well too. You just have to pretty much, like, put all your ego on the side and just try to fit in as quick as you can and be part of something good. That's, I think, pretty much what happened for my side as well too. I mean, if you look at it, if you talk to anybody who I play with, I always was a good teammate, and always people want to be around me. Like we always have a good time, and we always compete in the high level. So you have to be in a good relation and good communication with the coaches, with the players, and pretty much you have to fit in what really is given to you. Like so. Like I said, in San Antonio, I had to really do what Pop was telling me. Otherwise, like I wasn't going to play. So I was just trying to, accept those rules and learn as quick as I can, and trying to be something, good. And when I come to Orlando, the first couple of years, maybe it was different. But like when you come to the stand times, and after that, it hasn't been after that in Orlando. Hopefully it's going to come. we've been waiting for so many years, and hopefully this rebuilding situation is going to stop in certain point, because this city, this organization deserves much better. And because after playing NBA finals, to see my team to be in this situation, like it's not easy to accept, but hopefully things will turn around. I'm rooting for them. So like for my
I think
side,
that's interesting, Turk. Real quick, just on that. I think just because you played here and you finished your career here, you don't stop rooting for this team, do you? And you don't lose your connection. I mean, listen, George, we've been fortunate enough to get together a couple of times, and Hedo is loved everywhere he goes. Like, fans stop him, they're cheering for him. Like, that was such a special time. And I know we've mentioned that so many times, but just because you're not playing for this organization doesn't mean you don't still want what's best, right?
of course, I mean, like I said, this is the best time of my career. In my 15 years, if you look at my career, I had the best times in Orlando. And I think the way I was accepted to the city, or the way I accepted the city, I think you still see that connection, and people still show me support. They still show me, love whenever I go, like restaurants, gas station, wherever I go, whenever I run into people, they always, show me love, give me respect. There was a great bond we had, because like I said, I was always in a great relation with everybody. I was, one of the fans' favorites. I love talking to the fans. I love communicating with the fans, so even you're not maybe part of it, organization, I still live here, I still see myself, as a Magic. So of course I want my, ex-team to be good, like before. So I will still root for the Magic, and hopefully, things will turn around, and they will be in the, like those days like we were.
It's interesting, Turk. When you look at it, what do you think is, I don't want to say missing, but what do you think needs to happen? Kind of explain, as a veteran, as a former player, why it takes so much time when you have young guys, and how important it is to have the right veterans, and how much you have to go through when you're rebuilding.
I mean, you know what? I think the things that's really changing in the league right now, the way I looked at it, maybe in the past they had some, bad experience with the older players or veteran players. Like maybe they didn't want to be part of the organization, or they didn't, like I said, they didn't want to accept the role they wanted to be. So like, I think things it's really changing in the league. If you look at it, the teams, so few teams right now giving opportunities for the ex-players. And I really don't know why, because in those times you need ex-players to be part of it. Maybe not full-time part of it, but in certain points, because if you look at it, also coaching staff as well too, they're all young. They never been in the NBA experiences, so they kind of pretty much allowing those guys to grow with the players as well too. But sometimes things doesn't work out, because like it's a long season, and you need somebody, like to tap your shoulder and to give you something like what's going on and what might happen, and there's somebody to, for those young guys to feel that like, hey, that's the guy, like he's here and he's helping us, and he will be here for us, and I think it will be good for the environment, and it will be good for locker room, and it will be good for organization. So I think that's why that's the most problem right now. If you look at it, so many few teams accepting ex-players to be part of it. I don't know why, but if you look at it in the coaching staff, if you look at all the guys, like the new coaches, they get opportunities, and you look at it, they are assistant coaches. I never seen them before. They're all like coming from college or somewhere, They know they don't have any experience, like, so they don't have any experience. So how they going to help the rookies or the
Great
first
point.
like couple the guys have to, like how the NBA is going, how is the traveling, how is the back-to-back nights, like how is the bad shooting nights gonna, affect, and how do you gonna, sometimes you're gonna hit the walls, that some nights or few nights back-to-back, you might have a bad games. So like in those situations, I don't see, like older guys, like being around and helping those players, to go through that situations.
Well,
That's
imagine that.
interesting
I
you
mean,
bring
George,
that
right?
up.
George,
Yeah.
look at that. He's gone through Rick Adelman, Greg Popovich, Brian Hill, Stan Van Gundy. Like, think about Doc Rivers. Like, think about Pete Carrill. Think about the
Yep.
people that he's learned from, as opposed to, what some other guys might be going through.
And they were, and that was an emphasis. I remember maybe 10,
Yeah.
15 years ago when it came to like player development, right? That was a thing where the league was really pushing that for teams. And maybe something I've never really looked at it the way Hedo just kind of said that. And he's kind of right when you do look around at rosters, right? I mean, that's accurate.
I mean, even George, if you look at it, rosters, even not even being a roster.
No, I mean, like
even in
basketball
even
operations departments.
even in the organizations,
right?
Like you don't really see much ex-players to be, like involved. I never. How do you say it? I never really interested like why. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some people really don't want to be part of it, or I really don't know. I never had the real answer, but sometimes it's really affecting because I feel bad for those young guys, because like if you look at it, they trying to solve the problem by themselves, and sometimes like it doesn't work, because like that's how the things, like for me, that's how I learned, that's how I grow up, like that time, like we talked about Adano, what I'm saying? Like Adano was a great teammate, what I'm saying? Like, and he will always come to you and, like say something, like what's really right, what's wrong.
That's awesome.
He was a really vocal in the locker room. I mean, he was on the, like good teammate. And so like, even though he wasn't but you need somebody for those moments to help you to go through that kind of stuff. What I'm saying? Like, if you look at it, certain teams right now, especially if you look at it, Orlando right now, the only guys for me I'm looking is Terrence Ross right now. Like if you look at it, like he's been in the league a long time. Maybe Ituan more. I think Ituan is over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like so. Like if you look at it, those guys kind of maybe in that role. I don't know, like with what their role is. So, like if you look around, like all around the league, after like with certain teams, like majority of time is like they really don't have so many ex-players, like who's been really part of the organization. And I really don't know why. I never been really interested, but in some point I might be interested in trying to do research, what's really going on. So I mean, I feel bad for those young guys, like, so because like right now, if you look at it for the Magic, especially, it's been like a rebuilding years, so many years. I'm seeing like,
yeah, it's been frustrating. There's no question about it.
And you had so many talented guys. I'm saying like I don't know, like a Markel Fultz or Isaac. I'm saying like who's helping those guys mentally to prepare themselves after they go through that kind of like a surgery time, and they've been out so many, like time, and hopefully they had the good people around them, like a family or friends, that they can help them out to go through that like situations.
You were such a glue guy, and there were a lot of people that you mentioned you got along with everybody. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody's interested in everybody, but you could get along with Jameer and Dwight, or you could get along with Jeremy Richardson, the best guy, the 15th
or Dante.
guy,
you can get along with Dante.
You could even find a way to get along with me and George. what would those conversations be like? What would you guys talk about? Why would you, how could you find something in common with everybody?
Listen, we had everybody's in mind was like, I think, being success or being successful. So like everybody's mind was like, everybody wanted to be a successful. So like when we go out there, everybody wanted to compete. Everybody wanted to be something good. So that's why then when you spend more time, then you start to get to know each other, their personal, and then you start to talk about something different than basketball, and you pretty much enjoy being around people, like. And for me, like starting at a young age as a professional, I think it really helped me, especially throughout my career, because I know where to stop or when to change as a personality, like when you joke times or serious times. So in those times I was really able to control myself, and all my team was really good persons, man. Like I love those guys. They have really great personalities, like. So we all had common that we all wanted to be good, we all wanted to compete, we all wanted to play. And even sometimes I text with Jeremy, I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
maybe he wasn't playing that much, but like he was a good kid, and
yeah.
I was able to talk to him or joke around or spend time
That's
with him.
great.
I'm
I
saying,
think
like,
that's great.
even with Dwight, with Jameer, Rashad, I still talk to him. And even JJ was weird, but he was still a good guy too.
JJ got big time. He's got his name on a beer. You know that? He's got
No
his
way.
name. He's got his name on a can of beer. Everybody
know
is
that.
sponsoring JJ. What is happening?
I
We
didn't
got to
know
get
that.
you. Can we get your picture on that Ephes Pilsen? Can we get your name on some of that back home?
Let's try something around here.
Even better. Even better. Hey, one last thing, Turk, and then Dwight Howard. As far as Dwight goes, listen, we could go back and forth. I think Dwight admits he made a mistake in leaving. I think he should have been here his entire career. But all that being said, in my opinion, he's the top 75 player in NBA history. You got to see him when he was the most dominant. And the fact that he got left off that list, in my opinion, is horrible. I just want to get your thoughts on, you saw the prime Dwight, and I'd love to know what you think about him being left off.
I mean, like you said, we all made mistakes, like maybe he was taking the lead for those stuff. I was with him in those times, and I was trying to help him in a certain point. But like I said, sometimes when you don't have good people around you, it makes you make even more like mistakes that like it's gonna cause you like for so many years. So Dwight, I think the good thing is like accepting that mistake is also a big change for me as well too, to see that from Dwight. So
right.
But like you said, I mean, I always wonder like who makes these decisions, guys. I seriously do.
Right.
Because like I got screwed in 2008 or 2007. I was averaging 20, almost 25 and 5, and I didn't like become an all-star. Like, so I always wonder like who makes these decisions and who makes these like votes, because the guy been in the defensive player almost 3 years in a row and putting up huge numbers, and he's not in the top 75. It's really sad. It's sad for the NBA. I mean, like that's my whole thing. Like to being, like leaving this guy out of 75. It's really sad for the NBA, because then the people will start to look at it in a different way for the NBA. If you leave this kind of guy, like been dominant so many years, almost like, I don't know, like 6, 7 or 7, 8 years in a row, being that dominant in the league, like winning those kind of awards and still not being in 75, it's sad, you know, like, but in people's mind, he's top 75, and I can say that. So hopefully, you know, they will, you know, change that, you know, like somehow in the future. So
Right.
you know, he deserves to be there, man. You know, like he's the guy right now. You know, that's, if you look at it, the system, the teams playing right now, especially the big teams, that's Stem and Gandhi, and our team was kind of started out in 2009. If you look at it right now, you know, if you look at it, Phoenix right now, you know, the way they play is pretty much how we played. You know, like if you look at it, Golden State,
right.
you know, like if most of the teams, if you look at it, they pretty much play how we played in 2008, 2009. So, and the guy was really dominant that time. So, hopefully, you know, like they will, you know, like change what they did, and that guy will, you know, get his respect more and more.
They gotta fix it. You know, George, we joke about his defense, but one of the biggest plays in Magic history that I'll never forget is him blocking Kobe Bryant in the NBA Finals in Game 2.
Yeah, I was standing right there.
All ball. He got all ball.
Yeah,
Swatted that away. That's one of the greatest of all time, and you'll forever have that moment.
Rest in peace, man. That guy
Yeah.
left us early, man.
Way too early.
Way too early.
Way
So,
too early.
I mean, listen, sometimes what they say, I was in the right place in the right time. So I was able to block Kobe Bryant. And I got more TV times than I ever did.
Boy, you'd love today's NBA. You know, we have lockout days now, Turk. We have maintenance days. We don't practice anymore. You would love today's NBA. Be perfect
man.
for you.
I would average triple-double in these days. If you were
All
me
right,
and
well, good to
Dwight,
see
if
you.
you had me and Dwight, we would average triple-double these days, man.
Yes, you would. Yes, you
If
would.
you put our team right now, 2009 team right now in this NBA, these days NBA's, I swear to God, we will dominate the way we played that time.
You'd get even more threes. Think about that, right? Think about all the threes you'd get, and you can't touch anybody now. You'd have
Right.
all the room in the world to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, like every day the things are changing in the league. So think about like Dwight, in prime Dwight right now. Oh boy, it will be it will really be fun to watch. You know, like, so let's give a shout out to before we close it, the best shooter all time, man.
Yes.
Steph Curry,
Steph.
man. That guy is something else, man.
Have you seen anything like him, Turk?
I
He's
never
really
seen it.
amazing.
Oh my God. The way he, like, George, you know, we've been in almost like what, 15 years, 16 years. We know each other.
Yeah.
I always said this before, like, I saw JJ Redick as a player, how he improved himself, you know, like when he first came to the league, and how much work he put in and how much he got better as a player, you know, like I always give respect to him. So like, people should always take example from JJ Redick of his work ethic, you know, like how he worked, you know, like how he changed his living style and all that, you know, like, so that's how he really, you know, like had a huge impact in his career. But like, if you look at it, Steph, the guy's like, he did this like in almost like 10 years, not even 10, because like, if you look at it, the injuries he had and all that, because like he was drafted in 2009, you know, and the injuries he had, like the numbers he put up, and he wasn't just like a spot up shooter, you know, like the way he played, the way he moves without the ball and all that. We have to give a lot of respect to that guy, man, and hopefully he will keep staying healthy and breaking records.
You know, you mentioned JJ. We're going to let you go eventually, I promise. But you mentioned JJ.
No, I'm happy, man. I got nothing else to do. I'm home.
That's great. That's great. What did Hedo say is going to go even longer? But JJ retired. This is the first time in 15 years that JJ's not in the league. Makes me feel old because I remember when JJ got here, we drafted him, and now he's already out of the league. But You know, you mentioned it, Turk. He put a lot of work in, and he became
Yeah,
one of
man,
the best
nobody
shooters
wanted-
during his time.
Nobody wanted to put up his BS last few years, man. His injuries, BS, he's just putting up with my back, my blah, 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 you know, like, so nobody wanted to put up with JJ stuff, man. No, man,
He's doing the podcast all the time now. He's
I
everywhere.
give a lot of respect to him, man. Like I said, the guy really had a great career, man.
All right, Turk. Well, we appreciate it. Good stuff, and we'll catch up with you here soon. Maybe
Turk,
one
who
of these
decorates
times-
who decorates your house there behind you with all the
Yeah, that's
all the
nice back
mementos of? I even see like a what is that?
That's my office.
Your office?
I got my see my old pictures.
Yeah, I saw the one that caught my eye initially was the one with it's just like it's your back in the Toronto jersey, just with
Yeah, you
it's
see
like
my
Yeah.
Zoolander look.
that's what I was gonna say. It would look
That's
like
my Zoolander
Zoolander.
look.
Yeah,
Blue Steel.
that's exactly what that
Yeah,
was. Blue
man.
Steel.
You know,
Nice.
I always something make you guys laugh, man. So.
Always. You know, it was funny, George. He caught up with Marcin Gortat, and Marcin wanted a signed jersey from
Okay.
Turk, and Turk's
Yeah.
like, "Well, I'll get one to you." He didn't have any in his car. He doesn't carry any jerseys with him. But Marcin was like, "I got like 5 in my car."
That's a funny
So
guy, man.
Wait,
That's a
Marcin
funny
has his
guy, man.
own jerseys in his
Marcin
car?
travels around with his own jersey. Which is great.
That's
So
unbelievable.
Mars, man, I don't carry that kind of stuff in my car, man. I'll get you one.
All right, then I'm gonna have to. I'll wait for mine too, since Dante's got his hanging on his wall. I gotta get mine. Just put it in your
Well,
car
Sid,
next time I see you.
Turk wouldn't
I
sign
will.
it for me. Sid signed it.
Sid signed it?
got-
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
Sid signed it, but it looks pretty good.
Turks is hard to do. We've had some competitions, and Turks is impossible. I can't replicate that.
It's easy, man. You put big T and
At a 15,
yeah, that's it.
just a big sloppy T and a
Yeah.
15.
Then the sloppy around, that's it.
I'm gonna put it right on eBay. Hey, look at this. Turkoglu, $500.
That's great.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
Well, we'll be back
man.
next week with more of what did Hedo say. We're going to keep this going. Appreciate it, Turk. That'll do it for Magic
hey,
Pops
man,
Club.
let
We'll see you soon.
me
buddy.
know, guys, whenever available. Okay, we catch up.